Citi News put out a video on the airport. Looks really nice.
Okay.
Will that change the dynamic of air travel? In what way? Can you do directly from Kumasi to say Lagos? How will it increase? What can we do to open up the country? You know, I went to Akosombo. Took me the whole day to go and do what I was going to do there. There's an airport in Ho nobody's using. Okay, they want to put up an airport in Cape Coast. What would it take to really crack the air travel thing? All right, because Nathan, it will make us more efficient. Imagine if you're going to do a report. So let's assume you're going to interview the board chairman of Kotoko for an exclusive interview. If you can fly from Kumasi at 7, get there by 8 o'clock, do the interview at 9:30, fly back at 11, you can still host your show at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, so air travel makes us more productive.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to drive to Kumasi,
no, that's a 4 to 5 hour drive.
You spend the whole day going to do a 30-minute interview. Yes. Do you get me? So I don't see why the beyond the infrastructure being built, I don't see the plan to really get the aircraft to be operationalized. When I speak to the aircrafts, they're struggling. The little I know about them is it's not easy. Like, for example, all the airlines, their costs are dollar denominated.
Yeah.
So whether it's the fuel you buy, whether it's the parts for your servicing, or even paying your pilots, all right, all your costs are dollar denominated. Now, your charges are Citi denominated. So already you're losing. So imagine you make an investment in 6 aircraft, and then you pay for fuel, and then when you came into the business, the Citi was trading for 8 cedis to $1. Today it's trading for 14 cedis to $1. Right? I mean, how much profit would you make? Even globally, airlines are struggling. So I don't even see how airlines are making it in Ghana, because even in advanced markets like in US, airline industry is so patronized. It's a big country. So if you're in the US and you're traveling to any part of the US, unless you want to drive, you can go by plane.
Yeah.
All right. They have a strong. Even their airlines struggle. All right. So I'm wondering how it makes sense to run an airline in Ghana. All right, because Ghana, we like going for funerals.
Yeah.
Right. Beyond that, I don't see where people go. But even with funerals, I don't think the uptake of air travel is enough to open up. The country is small, you know, and most people don't have anywhere to go except funerals.
Yeah.
So those in the airline industry, please tell me how you do it. How your dollar denominated costs versus your Citi denominated. And I'm not saying charging. And you see why John Kwati's point makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're running an airline, and let's assume you bring 6 new aircraft, which you buy for US dollars, and you must use the airlines maybe for 10 years or 20 years. You bring in engineers, you bring in pilots and things who have to be paid at international competitive rates.
Yeah.
You have to buy aviation kero, which is also dollar denominated anyway. All right. And you have to use spare parts, which are also dollar denominated. And then you come and then you are charging, say, 120 cedis from Accra to wherever. 120 cedis may have been worth, I don't know, $20 a year ago. Yeah. It's probably now worth $6. Do you see the problem? So I am happy with the airport being built, and I think it should encourage us to see the viability of domestic air travel. Yeah. So, for example, if I'm Passion Air or I am Africa World Airlines, I'm going to say a bigger Kumasi airport, a bigger Tamale airport means that I can do minimal flights. I can land at night. Yeah. So I can do 9 p.m.
True.
Then you can also now have tourism packages. So it shouldn't just be building the airport. So now a tourist company can say, okay, you want to do Menshia, you want to do Boabin Fiema, you want to do Zena Lodge. I have a package that will send you to Tamale and send you from Tamale to Kumasi, and then all of that together with hotel and food at a certain cost. Do you get it? Then the hotel too must be good enough to make you happy to be there.
Yeah.
Do you follow my thinking? Yes. So I feel that the airline conversation needs to be revamped. For example, Volta region. A lot of people say it's the most beautiful region and it has a lot of tourist attractions. Yeah. Yet, most people go by road. Yet you have an airport there.
And the airport has become,
there's, you know what I'm saying? Cape Coast is another one. Cape Coast is a place where people visit a lot. So most people come to Ghana who want to visit for tourism, go to Cape Coast.
Bernard, so last year I went to Tamale, right? Mm-hmm. I went via and I was talking to the passengers. These were the first to use the airport when it was commissioned. I was talking to those who come down from Tamale to Accra. You know, some are country directors for NGOs and things like that. So they come down to Accra very often, and so they use the flight because it's more convenient. And for them, they're able to do that because their companies pay for the flight.
Yeah.
And they tell me that the cost of, flying had increased by 100%. And someone actually showed me his receipt from the previous years till when I spoke to him. So aviation fuel has gone up, and I'm told that is one of the main cost factors, one of the main drivers causing the increase. So a lot of passengers, for Accra Kumasi, I am very confident it will be a bit different because of the sheer number of people who simply go to Kumasi every weekend.
But Caleb, whilst not cutting you, I still think that company executive is better off flying than going by road.
Absolutely.
Because generally flying is safer.
More convenient.
And then he will enter in a more composed way.
Yeah.
Now, the key to this is, if you're an airline operator, if there isn't enough traffic, the business will not make sense. So if you look at the operations of airlines, it's a volume business, not a value business.
Right.
A volume business is a business that requires more numbers.
Yeah.
The profit is not in the margins, it's in the volume.
True.
Because there are very thin margins in airline. So what I'm trying to say is that Kumasi Airport is great, and we'll celebrate that for a couple of days. But I need to see a plan of increasing the attractiveness of domestic travel and also international travel into Kumasi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Attract more visitors who will come in, and that will make the airlines make more investments. Because if there aren't people patronizing the airlines, they can't make more investments. They aren't make more investments, the service will be bad. Do you get it? Now, I'm saying that it's going to increase productivity. If you have a vibrant airline industry in a country, it's going to increase your productivity. Because movement in Ghana, our roads are terrible. There's no street lights. The roads are in a very bad state. It's very dangerous to drive on our roads.
That's true.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So, whether it's Ho or Cape Coast or Kumasi or Tamale or Takrady or Sunyai, I think we need well-functioning domestic airports. Number two, the government needs to attract airlines to operate these routes and then link it to tourism. Because I feel like tourism is a very easy attraction. It's easier than simply business, because the way business works, most people will go to the Volta region or the Ashanti region or Eastern region for funeral or to sightsee.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
The economy is not that well developed apart from Kumasi.
There
aren't that many businesses in Tamale. Do you get it? So unless you're going there for a program, so you must tie your aviation industry to some tourism thing.
Yeah.
Hangout, events, weekend specials and things.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
And those experiential things.
Those festivals and cultural things.
Exactly. And I don't see a concerted effort. I stand to be corrected. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there. So let's use the Kumasi airport as an entry point. By the way, what are the features of this airport? I don't know if you guys have been.
So Graphic has this.
I mean, in terms of context, I think it's important to state that this is phase 2. So phase 1 of the rehabilitation project was carried out in 2014 in December, and it cost us $29 million. And then for this phase 2, the ground was broken in November 2018 for $75.23 million. So that's in terms of timelines and numbers.
Can you go over this again?
So phase 1 was carried out, or a rehabilitation project was carried out under phase 1 in December 2014, and it cost us $29 million.
Okay.
And then, so what we see now is phase 2. So ground was broken in November 2018, and it cost us $75.23 million. So,
okay.
So that's in terms of context, timelines, numbers. What does this phase 2 have? There's an apron and runway extension totaling 2,300 meters, and is in line with international standards. So
wonderful. International
Civil Aviation Organization standards. In terms of the volume, the airport is expected to commence full operation at the end of June. It's expected that it will handle 800,000 passengers per year and 200 per hour. Okay, primarily from the middle and northern belt regions. So that's the target. They want to they want to do that. Now, domestic aviation services will be available to passengers in the Ashanti region and nearby areas. So, just to give you an idea of the kind of work that will be happening.
The things you are describing, does that mean that like a full Boeing 747 can land there? Is it international airport?
Well,
is it called Kumasi International?
Yes, it's called the Prempeh the First International Airport.
Then that's it. Once international airport, it means that it can land a proper plane. You get it. So it's not a domestic. Usually what you do is you fly to Accra and then you sit on a smaller plane, because the thing with planes, particularly the ones that are jet engines, are the length of the runway. So there are two kinds. There's the propeller, which really works with wind. So that one, it doesn't need such a long runway to fly. So it can land quite abruptly. But then for these jet fueled planes, they need a long runway to sort of give them the upthrust. So I feel like even internationally, it can make it easier to connect, right? Because I can tell you that about probably 40% of people on most planes are going to Ashanti region or somewhere beyond Accra. So that is good, all right? Then the domestic airlines can also fly bigger planes, because when you have a small domestic airline, I don't like small planes. So the bigger domestic airline means if you're going for an event, because the runway is longer, you can essentially go and feel safer. Okay. Then there must be connection nodes. I think that the whole airport, they must find a way to operationalize it. They must find a way to operationalize it, and they must, even if there's an airline, do trotro. So trotro, I know how Askai has been doing, where you do Lagos to Lome to Accra to, you can do Trotsky. So you can take an aircraft and say, okay, we are doing Tamale, but I'll do Tamale through Ho and Kumasi. So you have 8, so you can have maybe 100 people, 20 of them will drop in Ho, the 20 of them will drop, another 20 join from Ho. But South Africa Airways, they do it. They do South Africa to Accra to New York.
Yeah, but it must be commercially viable. I mean, normally they would have to do a feasibility study to know how many people on average will fly from Ho to, say, Lagos, or fly from Ho to Kumasi. And when it is commercially viable, then they make a decision as to whether they want to do that. I think the concern was raised at the time they built the facility, that what kind of work was done to determine commercial viability of the place. Otherwise, maybe we'd have to send a few more businesses to the whole area. Or we turn to tourism in a big way, because easily the Volta region is the best tourism destination in the whole of Ghana.
There's a lot of places in the Volta region, really, waterfalls, Afajato Mountain, there's Tafi Atome Monkey Sanctuary, so many within the whole enclave alone. So what you need is somebody to come together to create a package around tourism and aircraft. There's also the question of a flying culture. You get it? Because most people like to drive and buy a bolo on the road. So you also need to tell them that, look, you can go and come in the same day and do other things. All right, but some
the other thing
involvement
is
also required.
Cost. For a lot of people, they'll work the numbers and say that, sorry, if I have to pay, say, 800 cedis or 1,000 cedis to do a round trip to Kumasi, if I hop on a VIP, it will not cost me 1,000 cedis. So that's freed up funds to do other things.
How much does the VIP cost anyway?
Well, my cousin going to the Takrady recently was in excess of 100 Ghana cedis.
So it's much cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, but the convenience of it and the inconvenience, if you like, depending on how you look
so
at it.
Nathan is saying you spend up to 1,000.
So maybe 1,000. I'm just giving
let's get the right figures. But the point is, if you spend the whole day on that bus,
yeah, that's right. Opportunity cost.
Even if you spend 200 cedis going and coming, versus you spend maybe 1,500. Are you telling me that your day is not worth more than 1,500?
Your day should certainly be
like you. If I give you an MCing job to do for 1 hour, how much are you going to charge me? Aren't you going to charge me more than 1,000?
That is true.
So Bernard, it depends
imagine
really on what you're going to do.
So let me make it good for you, Caleb. You like Galamsey. You're supposed to go to Tamale to MC an event at 11.
Yeah.
You leave Accra at 7. You get there for 8.
Yeah.
You relax for a couple of hours. You do the MC event.
Yeah.
You finish at 12. You jump on the 2 o'clock plane. You get back to Accra to do a 4 p.m. event and charge another 5,000. So you can get 10,000 cedis. Now, if you're supposed to drive, so just based on your example, you have done an event in Tamale at 11, done an event in Accra at 4 p.m., and you've charged 5,000 for both. That's 10,000 cedis. Now, let's assume you even paid 1,500 for the ticket.
For the ticket?
Compare that to taking
It
a
will be
bus.
close to 3,000.
But you've got
Yeah.
10,000 city business.
Yeah.
Now, if you are driving to Tamale,
Yeah.
no, you mean Tamale to back is 3,000? No, I don't think so.
Let me check.
So in terms of the
last time
tickets,
two of us went to Tamale last year. It cost us 5,000, a little over 5,000. That was last year.
Hey,
No, I mean,
No, it's not easy like that.
It's gone up.
It's not easy like that.
still,
It's not easy,
if you let's think
crap.
about it. If you're going by STC,
Check it.
No, that one is bad.
check it.
It will take you more than 12 hours. By the time you get there, you are fatigued.
basically you spend
No,
2
no,
days
Yeah.
to do a 10-minute job because we're going to MC for an hour, right?
Yeah.
You would take if you leave here at 7 o'clock by road,
Yeah.
you probably get to Tamale by 6 p.m. And then you can't even do the event.
No.
So you have to travel the night before to get to do the event.
I mean, this is a very real life example because then some friends in Kumasi wanted me there to do something, and it was a weekday. It wasn't a weekend. I wasn't going by bus. So if they were really interested, then
They had to buy the ticket.
Yes, and I actually told them to find someone in their precinct to do it because honestly, for you as an event organizer, if you're going to add ticket cost of someone to MC the events to what the person will also charge you, it would be great if you found someone
But
there.
you see the value. Let's not.
The
you see,
value
this is
matters.
it.
Yes.
So let's assume Sky is going to train 25 journalists in media law.
Yeah.
And because of his experience,
Yeah.
KNUST say, come and do that intensive 3-day training.
Yeah.
You can find somebody in Kumasi. I'm not saying there's nobody in Kumasi who can do it, but you see the level of expertise you will get.
Clearly.
So what you do is these things give opportunity for us to get the best of everything.
That's true.
All right. So I want us to analyze it from a long-term perspective. My comment to the government is beyond building an airport and us clapping, which is a great thing. You need to find a way of connecting the industries. All right.
Yeah.
And I think, as we've all said here, tourism is the industry to use.
Yeah.
And then there are other things, funerals, conferencing, all right, which you have to tie. And then also the people's understanding of productivity. People must know that spending 2 days on a bus, and I'm not trying to destroy a passenger business. There are people who use bus.
Yeah.
But for high productive people, spending 8 hours on a bus is not,
It's not
productive.
Yeah, it's not. So some details here. If you're going by road from Tamale, from Accra to Tamale, it's 300 Ghana cedis. Flight is anything from 1,500 onwards, depending on the timing. If you book earlier, you could get it cheaper. So, of
So
course,
300
the
to
earlier
go
the-
or come.
by road.
To go and come.
one way.
So Tamale is 300 to go.
Yeah,
And then airlines about 1,500.
yeah,
So about 5 times.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also 5 times quicker.
Yeah, that's the issue. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking
I mean,
at.
I
the
don't see that.
opportunity
But the
for.
airline
Yeah,
people, they
really,
can-
I think it depends on what you're doing. But I do agree with you about on this matter of looking at things long term and ultimately trying to open up the country. But like we've said before, in addition to air transport, I also feel that we need to look at rail transport. It's another great way of opening up the country and getting more people to move about far easier than they would on the road.
Yeah. But also we need also to speak about the unreasonable taxes on the air travels,
Yes.
which would be some of the reasons why airfares are so high. Because I mean, you can sit on a plane in UK and travel to Switzerland. Comparatively, I mean, the cost is just.
Meanwhile, you're already having FX losses and
Yes.
then you're adding dollars,
Yeah.
taxes to it. 3 minutes past 8, taking social media trends. Let's know what you feel about the new Kumasi airport and your general comment about domestic travel. Why, those of you from the whole area, why aren't you using the airport? Or is that the right question? Is there even an airline operating?
Ideally, you should be talking about who should put
Maybe I should rephrase the question. Why aren't we? Why isn't there a viable airline between Ho and Accra or wherever? Let's find out.
We'll take 45 minutes or less.
Getting lots of comments from the Kasua area about traffic. Here's one. Good morning to you and team.
Right.
Please inform your other listeners there is massive vehicular traffic from Goma Akoti Junction to Kasua and beyond, partly due to construction work that is currently going on that stretch. Can you imagine? Monday morning, construction work. No car is moving. I've been in traffic for well over 2 hours. This is from Sir Chris. And Sir Chris's message is re-echoed by a number of people. So Just Lord says, Bernard, please, there is massive traffic at Budumburam towards Kasua. Very, very, very bad. I've been in traffic for over 3 hours. Just Lord is a listener, a regular listener of the Citi Breakfast Show. Good morning, Bernard and team. Please use your medium to address a challenge hindering the free movement of vehicular traffic at the Community 1 road. leading to the main harbour area. The portion in front of the Irani Brothers, where flour is produced. This morning, an articulated truck has fallen off due to the ditch in the middle of the road. Kali informed the Ministry of Roads, since the MC has decided to turn blind eye, we are suffering. This is coming in from Seth, texting in. Ben, aside passenger travels, Kumasi should be positioned as aircraft maintenance hub, which will bring in air traffic within the West African region and Africa beyond. The focus shouldn't be just on air travel. This is coming from Kofi, texting on the matter we are discussing. Bernard, I am at Budumburam now, and the traffic is terrible. Going to Cape Coast, we've spent 1.5 hours in traffic at Budumburam. We've just moved less than 1 kilometer. This is Johnson. By the way, in Swatre is between Sunyani and it's near Sunyani.
Okay.
It says Brekum and Sunyani. Okay, so there are two persons. One, somebody said in Swatre man is in Swatre is between Brekum and Sunyani. And then somebody says the suburb of Sunyani. So I don't know which is which. So in Swatre is between Brekum and Sunyani. By the way, which of the BA towns? Okay. So Bofakwa is Tano, that's Afo, right? And Swatre man is near Sunyani. Okay.
So that should be where.
And Bichem is also a Hafo. Bichem United Hafo. Adriana is Doma. And Techiman is Techiman. Okay. Is there another big team from that region? Brekum Chelsea is Brekum.
Brekum Chelsea.
Brekum Arsenal.
BA United.
Which is Sunyani.
BA United is Sunyani.
That's a lot of teams. Yeah. That's a lot of teams.
Plus a lot of the players they've produced in the last decade.
A lot of teams. And these days a lot of new teams are doing well.
Oh yes.
In the league. There's even Samatex.
There's Summer Boy, Western North.
Yeah, Samatex.
Travel,
before you get there. By the time you get there, you're tired.
You're tired. But they are doing really well. They are on top of the league.
If you had an airline thing, you move from Accra to Takra. Sky, the airline thing is serious.
Oh, it's very important.
Because imagine a football team, like for example, FA Cup final is between two teams in the Bruno Afro region, right? I'm sure a lot of their supporters are also here if they want to go, even if there's a tournament like they are in Africa Confederations Cup, and then maybe Alali is coming to play. Like, you don't expect Alali to drive on the road from here to Swatre, man. Just jump on a plane, and move to Sunyani, and then you drive the 20 minutes or something.
Ideally, it should be the rail system that should also be supporting. But we don't.
But Sky, which is cheaper
rail.
To set up? Because see, railway is not cheap.
In terms of the capital outlay, eventually.
The airline, the air has been created for you. All you need to do is the airport. So you just need an airport to set off and an airport to land. So you can do 10 airports and open up a country. If you're going to do rail, you need a lot of kilometers of rail line.
Which is true.
You need to preserve the rail. Then you need the trains. And need to run the trains with fuel. So my point is, I think airline is a way of leapfrogging. Pardon the pun. In the sense that if you have a good airport in each region and you have a good domestic airline network, you open up the country easier. Then you can spend more time using the rail to do the cargo. So the cargo then becomes, so the fruits that you are producing, all the food you are producing, you transport it on cargo. But human movement, airline.
There's an alternative view.
You see, the volumes, right? The volumes that you move on a rail line are far bigger than how much you can move with a plane. You can move close to 1,000 or more people, depending on the number of coaches you're using, when you have a rail line. Imagine the people complaining about the Kaswa traffic. Imagine we have a rail line all the way to, say, Cape Coast or maybe Winneba.
Right.
You can move about 20,000 people in a space of a few hours.
Yeah.
But if you have a plane, the plane takes off with what? At most, how many people?
80 people. 100. So if you had a rail from Winneba through... is Swedru before Winneba?
Swedru is after. So if you go to the
Winneba... So you have Winneba,
right.
And then you have Senya Breku. And then you have Gomwa East. And then you have Kaswa. And then you have Dansoman.
Malam Junction.
And then you have Accra. So if you had a rail from Winneba...
Just Winneba.
It will drop at Senya Breku, drop you through some of the Gomwa towns, drop you through Kaswa. You will get massive patronage. Like, the train will be everyday full.
Yeah.
And by the time you even get to Accra, and those who are going back,
Charlie,
plenty.
Massive.
So Bernard, here,
and even they charge 5 cedis per. You get plenty of people to patronize it.
Good. So Someone says Ghana is too small to make air transport very profitable. It's way cheaper to drive to Ho than to fly. A dual carriageway from Accra to Kumasi will make the trip only a 2-hour, 30-minute trip. It's almost the same time you spend to move from home, check in, wait, board a flight to Kumasi. For the size of the country, proper roads, rail, and utilization of the Volta Lake will be better and faster. Water vessels is a far more optimal use of resources. And then if you think about the Accra Ho thing and the airline, for example, the Volta region is beautiful for its scenery. Going by air denies you of the beautiful sights. You will miss the Akosombo sites and others. Besides, Ho to Accra is just 2 hours. Should you choose to go by air, pre-departure formalities alone can take an hour before the flight takes off. By the time the plane gets to Ho, it's the same 2 hour by road you should you leave early. So again, the emphasis is on, as Sky is saying, good quality roads, dualized roads, great rails.
I'll let you develop. I like the argument you're making. I'll let you develop. Let me talk to Calvis Tete, Citi News correspondent, Central Region. Calvis, there are a lot of listeners from your area sending me text that the traffic has been crazy. Where is the traffic? How long has it been? And is this always the case, or today is a different occasion?
Well, Bernard, the Kaswa to Cape Coast stretch is notoriously noted for traffic. And, now the construction of the road itself, the dualization of the road has increased traffic situation in that area, in the sense that, the construction activity has taken portions of the road. So the contractors, what they have done is that they have barricaded certain portions of the road with galvanized aluminum roofing sheets. I mean, they are doing some blasting of rocks just beside the road, the main road. And so they have barricaded certain portions, to make it safer for road users. And so that is the main reason why there's huge traffic on that stretch. Right now, the Budumburam section going towards Big Apple to Akoti Junction, they have used this galvanized roofing sheet to barricade certain portions. Apparently, they have dug certain big holes on the shoulders of the road. And so this galvanized roofing sheet has made the road a bit smaller. And so it's difficult for...
did they not do an alternative road while they did that? So usually when you are doing these things, you have an alternative route for cars to use. So are all cars struggling to use the rest of the road that's left, or there's an alternative route?
Bernard, some time back during the... I think about 2 years ago, they made some alternative road just on the shoulder of... just in front of Budumburam. And so from Budumburam to Big Apple, there's a small alternative road. But just after Budumburam, it becomes a single lane again. The alternative road was done because there was huge traffic and people were complaining. That was about 2 years ago. So that is where they use. But apart from that, there's no alternative road again to go. So once you get to Budumburam, there's a small alternative road on the shoulder of the main road where you can use, and then you can still join in again. But after that one, there's nothing going again. So that is where the huge traffic is. And, the stretch is such that there's no way they could make alternative road because it's just one lane. And because they've used galvanized roofing sheets to barricade certain portions, it has made the main road very small. So it's difficult for road users and vehicles to be using that. But quite apart from it, the police is always there. Trying to ensure that the vehicles move on time. But Bernard, the Kaswa stretch, in as much as the road is small, there are people also crossing from one end to the other. So it tends to slow the traffic. It makes things slow on that stretch. People are crossing in and out from one end of the road to the other end. So that is why the road is a big traffic prone now, Bernard.
So which specific part of the road has the traffic? Just describe, and by the way, those of us who don't know the road, if you can describe for us. So if you are going from Kaswa, what's the next town you get to before you get to Senya Breku, and which part of that road has the traffic?
Okay, Bernard. So from Kaswa, you get to Crispo City. From let's say from Malam Junction to Crispo City, it's a double lane. Once you get to Crispo City is just after Kaswa. It becomes a single lane. Heading towards Budumburam, it's a single lane. So from Crispo City to Budumburam now becomes a single lane. But from Malam Junction to Kaswa is double. Once it gets to Crispo City, it becomes single. So that is where there is traffic. So from Crispo City straight up to Breku, there is a single lane throughout to Winneba Junction. But the main traffic is around Crispo City, where the lane becomes single now, because initially it was double, and then they all join and it become one. So that is where the main traffic is. And so when you are climbing up the hill towards Budumburam, there is also huge traffic because that side, they have dug huge gullies on the shoulder of the road. Apparently, because of the construction works, they are doing some underground works there. So they have used these galvanized roofing sheets to barricade that Budumburam just in front of the Budumburam police station, to galvanize that portion up to Big Apple. So from Big Apple to, it becomes a single lane. Once you get to Brekutu, it becomes a single lane. But for Brekutu, they have also used galvanized roofing sheets to barricade the Breku side through to Akoti. Akoti is a bit free because there's not much traffic there. So the traffic itself is around the Crispo City and then Breku. That is where there's the main traffic there, Bernard. And, the police are there 24/7 because of the traffic situation. But Bernard, the traffic situation is such that it becomes even difficult for the police to be directing the traffic because people are crossing in and out at the same time whilst vehicles are moving.
So between Kasua and Winneba, is there no alternative route apart from the main road?
When you get to Akoti Junction, there's an alternative route to use Akoti Junction inside to Senya, and then there's an old road. I believe it was constructed by Kwame Nkrumah. So there's an old road that can connect to Winneba, either than using the main Winneba stretch. When you get to Akoti Junction, you can use that Akoti Junction stretch. You branch on your left-hand side. You go through to Senya, Breku. Then you can join from there to Winneba. But, the thing is, when you get to Akoti, the traffic is free. You can go now. So most of the time, there's no need to even use that alternative. But there's an alternative from Akoti Junction to Winneba. But just after Akoti Junction, the traffic is flowing. So
the main problem is the Budumburam area.
Budumburam and then the Senya Breku area.
So is the Budumburam being dualized? Is that what is happening?
Yes. The Budumburam stretch is being dualized. And from the last time the minister's visit to the site, he made mention that there's going to be a flyover around that side. So they are just digging, they've dug some trenches on the side of the road. And for that matter, they were even blasting some rocks on that shoulder sometime last week. There was very huge traffic last week because they were blasting some rocks. There were some rocks just on the shoulder of the road. So they had to stop the vehicles from moving until they finish blasting the rocks. And then they are still working there on the stretch. Because that side is going to be a flyover, there's a lot of work being done there. So it makes traffic situation a bit worse, Bernard.
By the way, when you look at the road construction, is it going on course? How fast is work going on? And do you know when they hope to finish?
Well, Bernard, the last time the minister visited, he went to the construction team and he spoke to them, and they made mention that for now they are just clearing the stretch, which of course they have done within the period of 2 months. Bernard, they've done a lot of work, and so the minister asked them when they're going to begin proper construction. But for now, my observation has been that they are putting together all the gutters on the shoulder of the road, constructing, doing all those minor construction works before they can actually asphalt the road. So construction work is ongoing. According to the minister, this will take 2 years. So we are yet to see if indeed after 2 years this construction work will be in shape, Bernard.
Thank you for talking to us. That was Calvis Tete, our Central Regional correspondent, reporting the massive traffic. A number of listeners have been complaining about the levels of traffic. We will be reading some of your comments. Some have sent us voice notes, but let's do this quick one.
Yes, join the Purple Experience to explore the future of banking, which comes with the First Atlantic Bank, the Digital Bank of the Year. With their awesome digital banking platforms, the First Atlantic Bank gives you a new digital world experience. Download the First Atlantic Bank mobile app from the Google Play Store or dial *442# for your bank transactions. Also available the First Atlantic Bank Internet Banking, Corporate Pay, DigiPay, Master and Visa cards for all your banking needs. It is safe, secure, and very simple to operate. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
Now, if you are trying to get good water to take and enjoy or use for your office, home, or special occasion, Standard Water is the #1 brand for you. Over 25 years of experience, that's what they have. They are in 11 regions and they are expanding. So for quality water, drink Standard Water. Call them on 0202055703 or 0547334385, and this ad is FDA approved.
Meanwhile, here's a listener saying that the story on the Adenta Dodowa stretch is no different in terms of heavy traffic due to the ongoing road construction. I can't believe that there were no plans to improve the available alternative routes which would have reduced the stress for commuters. A couple more comments around the issue of traffic and road movements.
Okay, all right.
You can send us your comments on 054-998-6996.
All right, this one says, I'm right here at Gumwa Koti. The traffic to Kaswa is a fact. Even yesterday, Sunday evening, was too much. Wisdom from Gumwa Akoti. This one says, please help us commuters on the Bosher Transitions Road to inform the contractor working on that stretch to treat us with respect. They've piled heaps of laterite on the sides of the road for months. One side of the road is taken and we are all struggling to use the lane that is left. The traffic confusion and dust are just crazy. If they are not ready, why cause such inconvenience to us? Nanaya with that particular message. All right, a few more coming in terms of the Kaswa traffic or the general transportation conversation. This one says, I don't think we need airports. What we have is fine. We need a good railway system and a better one, and an open rail investment scheme where the public can come together and purchase trains to run on various rail lines, something like the VIP. Papa Ezra in Takrady says, I think the airline companies can also take advantage of deliveries when it comes to fast and reliable service. They should put good proposals together to companies, or they should make proposals to companies. Your argument about airlines the argument is very valid, but one-sided. In a country where we have limited resources and low incomes, would you rather expand your roads or build an airport? Airports cater to very few people in the middle to high income brackets. Kwesi Akwa from Sakumono sent that.
Okay.
Nana in Nigerian says the Kumasi airport has a short runway. It cannot accommodate large airplanes. It can only accept regional airlines. Interestingly, the Tamale airport has a larger runway, can accommodate the bigger planes, but the airport itself, it's small and it's so ridiculous. All right, this one says airlines operating within the European Union are required by law to meet certain flight quotas on a daily and monthly basis in order to qualify for tax benefits provided by the government. I have less than 150 euros budgeted for a round-trip flight from London to Berlin. Additionally, I've already spent 150 euros on a flight from Munich to Berlin and back. Considering that a train journey would cost me nearly 200 euros for first class and it would take several hours, 4 to 5, the dilemma is whether the extra comfort is worth the additional time and cost. One important question to ponder on is how the aviation ministry plans to ensure the efficient operation of airports and promote economic growth across different regions in Ghana. If not anything, this is decentralizing. Farmer Lex from Kaswa Bojasi says, Ben, with a plane from Accra to Kumasi, we cannot do a stopover and eat fufu and drink beer. This was Accra to Winneba to Mankasim to Salt Pond to Briwa to Cape to Elmina to Takrady. Water transport, simple. This one says, can you imagine?
Sorry, guy, does the Atlantic Ocean allow for that type of thing? Is the water safe?
Oh no, why not? I mean, if you fly into Sierra Leone, you go into the airport and you're leaving the airport to the national capital, Freetown. It is easier to get to Freetown by getting onto a boat than driving through the very hilly areas. So majority of the times you see people who
on the sea.
And it's safe. We can learn from of course, I mean, once in a while you have boat accidents happening on that particular corridor, but we can learn from the Sierra Leonean example and see how we can adopt it in our own context.
The other point I wanted to make was, whilst we are repairing the main Kaswa road, there's a road from Insawam to Swedru, which should have been repaired. You see,
it's also not in good shape,
because that road takes you to Adeso, takes you to Bojuase, Obratre, Kwenyakun. That road is the alternative. So let's assume you are leaving Accra and you want to get to Winneba, and because of the road construction, there's traffic. The Insawam to Swedru road would have made it easier. Then you connect from Swedru to Winneba. But I don't know the state of that road.
The stretch from the Winneba roundabout towards Swedru is in horrible shape. It's not the best.
Because that then would have made it easy to take some traffic off the Accra Kaswa lane, because you are dualizing it. So you want people, I mean, if I live in Medina or I live in Adenta and I'm going to Winneba or I'm going to Cape Coast, I could have used Nsawam to Swedru one and then connect to Winneba and then continue my journey. I could have even continued
Yeah, Calvis even spoke about the old Winneba
to the
Road.
Jumako. There's actually a road that goes. Yeah, there's two. So there's one that takes you from Insawam to Swedru. You go and appear at the Jumako,
Yeah.
and then Mankesim.
And then there's another, the old
See that
one.
Samens people their road.
Yes.
That road goes all the way to Mankesim. So my point is that from here to Cape Coast. So let's assume you can actually decide to use that route.
Yeah, but it's in a horrible shape.
Terrible.
Calvi spoke about the old Winneba Road,
Yes.
which we are told connects from Dansoman in some areas to
And
the
to Winneba,
Yes. Ideally, that road should not be in the state in which it is. It is just like the bypass we had from Accra to Tema, you know, the beach road.
But they fixed it.
Yeah, they fixed it. So
they should fix their version.
exactly.
Yeah, but that's not a beach road per se because you will see the beach.
You
The
will see
old
the-
Winneba Road doesn't face the water.
Well, I've not used it before. I just heard people speak about it.
More comments 054 998 6996. It's 8:37 City Breakfast Show. Well, whilst we're talking about the road issue, I think there are a few more comments.
Yes.
Right? We'll
Yes,
read them.
yes, okay.
You can send us a voice note as well. My very good friend, Professor Dr. John Kwachi, is making a suggestion.
Yeah.
Can you read the story for me?
So, dollarize Ghana's economy to curb cedi depreciation.
Kai.
Dr. John Kwache, Director of Research at the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, has suggested adopting the dollar as Ghana's currency to stabilize the economy. Stabilizing the economy is not rocket science. If we feel we cannot maintain the cedi, let us abandon it and adopt the dollar. Let's dollarize the economy, he said. Dr. Kwache, who suggested this on Saturday during a discussion on a Accra-based television station, however, said that the dollarization of the economy should be a temporary measure until it rebounds, after which Ghana can create its currency. Dollarization is when a country begins to recognize the US dollar as a medium of exchange or legal tender alongside or in place of its domestic currency. Dollarization normally occurs when the local currency has become unstable and began to lose its usefulness as a medium of exchange for market transactions. For dollarizing countries, advantages include lower administrative costs, a firm basis for a sounder financial sector, and lower interest rates. Disadvantages include the loss of monetary autonomy. How do I say it? A vital national greater vulnerability to foreign influence.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Kwachi also proposed that the central bank be converted into a currency board as another option for economic stabilization. In a currency board system, the local currency is anchored to a foreign currency, that is reserve currency, and the exchange rate is strictly fixed.
Okay. I'll come to that story shortly. I was just putting that out there. A couple of comments on the road sectors, by the way. So, Sky, so this is the other challenge. I'm told that the Insawam Adaiso to Bojuasi Road is in good shape.
Okay.
But the problem is the Insawam Road is being fixed.
Okay.
So, unless you're coming from, say, Suhum in Sawam and you're going to Central Region where you can use the Insawam Adaiso Road, if you're in Accra and you want to go to Central Region, by the time you get to Nsawam, you've already spent 2 hours.
Okay.
Because
The
traffic is being
portions of the road.
yes are being done. So it's like two major road constructions happening at the same time. So if you're in Accra, I mean, life must be very tough.
Yeah.
If you're leaving Accra to Kumasi by road, you are going to go through traffic. If you're coming through Central Region, you're going to go through traffic. And then of course, Swedru to Winneba to
Same problem.
very traffic prone as well. Here are some more comments on the road situation.
Yeah.
Okay, Cham says a trailer is involved in a crash blocking the middle lane, Anya Pokwasi Junction.
Ooh,
Okay, we'll have to find out more.
those
This
are
one says,
your former neck of the woods.
yeah,
I
it
think
says,
the police should get involved and see how they can
Okay.
resolve that problem.
okay. Richard in Akoti Zion JHS, or he's at the Akoti Zion JHS, says, I've been stuck in traffic for over 2 hours. I have a final year class to attend this morning. Unfortunately, there are no alternative routes from Crispo City to Gomoa Akoti. Says this so.
You know the funny thing, even these names are new names.
Akochi.
So no, not Akoti, Crispo City, Big Apple. Like these things are not names that, if you look on the map originally, the names we have for those places don't include
not
those
there.
things.
Okay.
So it's like a very, Gomoa East is one of the largest districts in Ghana. when you look at the 2021 census,
Yeah.
Bumwa East is massive. It's because of Budumburam and its surrounding areas,
Mm.
and lots of people are moving there now.
Yeah.
So it's going to cause traffic. There's no alternative routes.
1 hour.
Even, for example, let me give you an example. The Kasua to Kwenyaku road, which takes you to Bojuase, that road should be better. You know, but I don't know the state of that road. Maybe you can tell us. Usually, when you get to Kasua, you turn right.
You turn right.
That road takes you to Bojuase. I don't know whether that road is even in a proper shape. But here we are.
Bernard, I have a message here. The major problem has to do with drivers entering or joining the road, especially at the Big Apple area.
Oh, Lord.
At Buduburam, one of the side roads in front of the fire service station has been resurfaced and it is being used concurrently with the main road. Drivers enter and exit the two roads haphazardly. It is this that has created a gridlock from Crispo City to Buduburam and from Akotse Junction to Buduburam. The presence of the police is not felt at all, though they are around. They are not at the key traffic prone areas. So this is Dr. Danny Mensah. Send that through.
Okay.
More messages.
All right. Accra to Nsawam stretch is also under construction. Commuters are suffering
Everywhere.
even more than
And then,
Kasua.
you know the funny one, the Akusombo road. I'm not even sure they're fixing it.
And the beach road, the Teshi Beach Road too.
It's under
I
construction.
used it recently.
I went to Akusombo, you know, for 2 straight walks in Akusombo Sky. Between Tema and Michelle Camp to Afienya, it was horrible.
Wow.
Like, the road is so bad and there's so many cars and there's nowhere else to pass. So I had to literally go and pass through Community 25 and enter through some lungus to enter. Then even on the main Akusombo road, there are some wicked potholes and there's no street light. So if you are driving at night, Sky, you can destroy your vehicle because the pothole is so deep
Big.
and you're on a good road and all of a sudden a pothole appears. So it's not like you're on a bad road that, you know, if you're on a bad road, you slow down.
Yeah.
You're on a good road
Suddenly.
and all of a sudden there's this huge pothole with nothing in it.
Oh.
It's terrible. Like,
Is the street lit?
there's no light. So you know where the baboons are? I was coming back on the next
Shire Hill.
last week Saturday, and there was a Benz bus that had burst a tire. So all the people, luckily there was no, it didn't overturn. So the people were out of the car waiting for another car. But I was the side, the pothole is huge. It's like very big. Oh.
You see, that stretch has had that problem for a long time. Now, you remember that during the Mahama era,
Some journalists went to crash.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And one of them died as a result.
In fact, there are parts of the road that it suddenly is like a ramp that
Yes.
you just run onto when you are driving without seeing it. It's very dangerous.
It's something that they have to fix. But for some reason, I don't know whether it's resources or what, nobody is doing
And
anything.
you know the
about
other
it.
thing, so for a road to not be a health hazard, you need street lights, you need road markings, and this road has neither. There was a day I was driving at night, and it was raining. Sky, it was horrible. You know why? Because there's no real alternative place to park. So if you park close to the roadside,
Someone will just come
someone
up.
ran into you. It was raining and the wind was blowing, so you couldn't really see. Luckily, there was a
Visibility is
huge
poor.
truck in front of us with light.
Right.
So you trailed it.
So we just followed the truck. If it was going to his house, we also go to his house. That was what's it. Because that thing,
That's not
and
good.
you can easily burst a tire.
Yeah. Also, because of the quarry, quarries along the way, you have so many big trucks using the place,
Yeah.
and the chippings they sometimes collect, they just redistribute it on the road.
As for one of my pet peeves in Ghana, cement trucks
The mixers.
damaging. The worst example
Concrete
is before
mixers.
the East Legon Tunnel, when you are coming from Action Chapel.
Pour the concrete there.
I don't know who regulates these guys. You have a truck with concrete in it, and you are basically destroying our roads.
Yeah.
Even if you get to IRS Junction at Shiasi, there's the same problem there. I don't know who regulates those guys. You know, you have cement, and you are just driving, and you are spilling it on the ground. I mean,
Bernard, but another thing about user behavior, I observed that the rails along the, if you're coming from Pokwase, you're getting towards,
Pokwase to
John Mensah,
Achimota.
that end.
Yeah.
They've stolen everything, oh.
they've removed them.
Everything is gone.
So this is the
Mile 7 coming towards Old Peace FM.
The
All
rails.
the metallic rails.
They are gone.
Wow.
Remove
I
forward.
was shocked. From the middle to the end side.
But
I
there's a
don't
train
know.
run on it.
I don't know. No, this is not the train. Oh. This is the main road.
The
the
metal.
metallic rails On
Guards,
the rail guards.
Oh, on that road,
Yeah.
the main Achimota 2
It's
of
bad.
Anko Road.
It's very bad. Yes,
Topokasi
Ofanko
Road.
is the name. It's very.
They've removed
bad.
them.
Oh, everything.
So now-
even the one that they put it on, the legs, they are all gone.
And you think people took them?
Oh, Ben.
Oh yeah, I mean scrap dealers are stealing these things. If you go to on the N1 highway, you know they erected these wire mesh railings or whatever you call them. The people just
can we
yeah,
ever
with
develop?
I don't get it.
Are you sure we are not fighting a lost cause?
But me, I've been telling you that. Telling me I used to have a lot of them, but
to have apart from all the problems, people now decide that they will steal what will collectively protect us.
yes.
It's sad.
And he doesn't just care.
It's sad.
He doesn't just care. The whole N1 highway, George Walker Bush, Americans built it for us. Go and use that stretch. They've removed all the metallic railings. Almost all of them.
Let's read some more.
And they now cross the road anyhow.
All right, this one says from hot oven through Afariwa to Ashaman roundabout is a headache.
Thank you.
Mystery one.
I told you when I got to hot oven.
You had to find.
I had a route. I'm not like an Uber driver. When I got to hot oven, I went forward and I did a U-turn. Went to pass through some lungus and appeared at boom.
Wow.
And came back. Just because from hot oven to 22 there to Ashaman about that one, I won't stay in it. I'd rather walk.
Okay, this one, I think today is the day senior high schools are reopening, so the traffic may be worse today. This one says traveling takes you 3 to 4 hours. The best time for me is traveling at night. Even Accra to Nsawam will take you 2 hours.
Traveling
more.
at night with no street lights can also be dangerous. Can also be dangerous. So
Very dangerous.
All right, this one says I'd like to comment on the traffic on the Temakosombo Road, specifically Michelle area. These are the reasons. The road is a one-way. 1, 2, Michelle Camp is on your left when you're going. 3, at the same area, the Ghana Ammunition Camp is on your right. There is no way drivers can use the alternative roads, and that has contributed to huge traffic on the stretch. My suggestion is that can the government contract the Bost Road, which is the red road you use from MFs through Committee 25. That road is from Tema to Akonsombo, and it can be used as an alternative. Kent sent that.
and then here's another.
Pakadan rail project.
Are they finished?
Well, they brought a train and they got involved in some accident.
So
would it ease that problem, really?
First thing is a cargo train.
Oh, so
it's
they will not
it's
be-
not really passenger focused. So even though passengers can go on it, I think it was, from the understanding I have, it's a cargo line.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. Mahoney is going to tell us whether it will take passengers as well, but I really don't know. The other point is about another direction. So Bernard, when you get to Kaswa and you are going towards Cape Coast, the first road on your right is the Obom Road. It takes you to Amasaman and Insawam. Now the second road on the right is what takes you to Ofako, Bojuase, Swedu. So you're right. So the Ofako road is what I was talking about. Anyway, more comments.
Okay, this one says motorway from Accra to Tema is just bad with the traffic.
Oh, this morning everywhere.
Charlie, some way. Stephen in Kuntunsi says last week, Thursday, I left Accra to Breman, Kuntunasi at 3 p.m. at Kaswa, where the construction starts. We spent 2 hours in less than a kilometer. I had to return at 6:30 p.m. I had to return to Accra to sleep at 6:30 and make the journey again on Friday. It's terrible.
Correction from Sanda. The train that was involved in the accident is a passenger train, not cargo. Okay. Sanda interviewed Ambewu on Eyewitness News that day and they discussed that. Sanda, thank you. So, Sky, I think you're right.
Okay. You're right.
So, Sanda, when we are going for your next Salah, we'll go with train. So, you park the car.
pass as Jerry Johnson.
That's the problem. That's the problem because you need. I don't know. Sanda knows this route better than I do. Asuchari is one of the big communities there. Not even the junction. So I don't know whether the train passes through Asuchari itself.
Yeah, they need some. Well, I don't know the geography.
Sanda, please help me here because when you drive on that stretch, Asuchari, and then you go to
Akuse, yes.
Before Kpong. Asuchari Johnson to Asuchari itself is a very bad road.
We used that road. We regretted it. that road is the worst road in the whole of the world. I swear.
You know what disturbs me? you know what disturbs me?
Yeah.
Time is not changing the things things are not changing as quickly as I thought.
Not at all. Meanwhile, there are so many investments in that area. pineapple farms,
rice
plantain
farms,
farms, banana farms.
Yeah.
Huge investments.
Yeah.
And I was watching a documentary recently. They do it like they cultivate banana in Bolivia and these South American
Massive. Golden Exotics and all those companies.
and the road is in such a terrible shape.
So when will we have a proper functioning transport system? Charlie, Japan has doing speed trains. So bullet train.
The bullet train, the
Tanzania,
Shinkansen.
Kenya, you know.
Tanzania is doing some.
Yes, they have launched a new one recently. Like you compare it to what's happening in Europe and China.
So we don't even have a proper functioning rail system yet.
Not yet. For now,
And we have been testing it and it's not even testing.
but we have the union, the rail workers.
Why is going there? So Sandra says the train is far off the main road.
Okay.
And so some of the issues I raised with the minister, they have to construct connecting roads. The plan was some way. Sandra, you have to call into the show and explain yourself, because I was hoping, because I do the Volta region regularly, I was thinking I'll just park my car at Tema and then I'll jump on the train and go to the Volta region. Maybe I'll get to Asikuma or Akosombo. That's what I was thinking. But now that Sandra is even saying what he's saying, I don't even know. So Sandra, you have to prepare a proper report. Since you live in that area, you understand the road better than us.
So what would happen? Normally when you're traveling from, say, London to, say, the Midlands,
Yes.
you have stops along the way.
Yes.
When you get, so if we build these stops, for instance, you look for the nearest place close to the township, to the rail line. So we build a station there so that if the train is coming, it can stop over there,
Yeah.
Offload passengers or goods as the case may be,
Yeah.
and then they take a vehicle from there to the main town if
Yeah.
it has to. But it calls for investment, capital investment.
I'm told that the train which got involved in the accident is a passenger train with over 200 seating capacity.
Okay.
I really want to try it out.
Yeah, I mean.
I want to try it. But the
But
challenge is
not
that,
when people are parking trucks on the road.
no, they've stopped. They'll clear
Have
it.
they stopped?
It was just one incident.
Charlie.
But I mean, to be
So
fair,
there's train back.
I think we should also look at it this way. It was during the test that it happened, so there were no passengers on the train.
Yeah.
So now we've seen the potential hazard, so you should just fix it.
Okay.
Or you are not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, don't do that.
These Ghana people.
Oh no. It was just one incident.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Stop that.
Bernard.
Let's take more comments. This is an infrastructure discussion. It would have been nice to speak to somebody from the transport ministry about the plans for the airport, but I'm not sure because
for some reason.
I was initially upbeat, but listening to you guys and then the listeners, I feel like it's a more egalitarian investment. The airline is more for middle classes.
It is.
Yeah, because it's a bit more expensive.
It is.
The rail is what you want to do, but Charlie, even as we speak, the rail is not fully functioning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, if you're doing road, if Accra Kumasi is dualized, it says Accra to Kumasi is 270 kilometers. A dual carriageway will make the trip 2 minutes 30 seconds at an average speed of 120 kilometers per hour. And then also, if you build a bridge
You mean 2
across,
hours, not 2 minutes.
no, if you're moving at 120 kilometers per hour, you are covering. You're moving in 2 minutes 30 seconds.
From where to where?
I don't know the math.
It says that Accra to Kumasi is 270 kilometers. A dual carriageway will make the trip. Okay, it should be 2 hours. Apologies. It should be 2 hours at 30 minutes if you are moving at an average speed of
That's what
130
it's saying.
kilometers.
So
Yes.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. And then if you build a bridge across the Volta at Dambai, it will then make the Accra Tamale trip just about 9 hours on average. So
If you had a vessel on the water from Buipe down to maybe Akosombo, would that make life easier?
That
Lake transport.
Yeah, I mean, of course. When you read the history around the building of the Akosombo Dam, one of the things that they discuss vigorously in the policy is using the Volta Lake as a super highway for transport purposes. you understand, moving people and goods from the north to the south. But for some reason, I don't think the VRA has invested in that, or they have allowed other people to invest in the area. And so it is virtually a dead promise. It is only when someone is serious about it that we can revive it and make it a truly viable alternative.
It's almost like we are going on in circles. So we've seen the problem, but there's always a big bottleneck. Either lack of money, lack of political will, citizens' attitude. It's a problem. It's like everything you think about is not as difficult, but there's always one large bottleneck.
But Bernard, some of the older people, they will tell you that, look, when the Nkrumah government initiated these projects and other governments came in, all kinds of self-interest initiatives led to the collapse of many of these initiatives. So, for instance, the rail transport, we're told that people began bringing in trailers to move goods from the south to the north, and for some reason were able to persuade the government to see to that and continue investing in that space, as opposed to ensuring that we develop further routes within the rail network so as to enhance our viability in that space. And then rail transport began failing, dying, and is dead as a result. You have the same thing with the GPRTU.
It's been over 30 years, 50 years.
No government is having the requisite size of kahunas to deal with it.
Charlie, when we know that rail transport is going to open the country up, we're still not able to fix this because of unions?
They have their own influence, and I think we need to really wake up at some point and smell the coffee.
But this message, it says life is a journey, but don't use the Dawenya Road.
Which side of the Dawenya Road? Is it the Accra Flower also?
Yeah. And then they say life is a journey, but don't try that stretch.
Challenge. Let's read more comments. 054 9986 996. Citi Breakfast Show discussing transportation. All right, let's hear some comments. Caleb, read a few before.
Bernard, this one is sad. Oh, Bernard, I hit one of those potholes on the Akosombo Road.
Yeah.
My car has never been the same. Mark sent that through. Good morning, honorable man. Please, the Tema Harbour Road is bad, especially when you're getting close to the main harbour roundabout. It's a deep hole. When Toyota Vitz pass through that, all their tires disappear. This is Joseph from Tema.
Toyota is a small vehicle, very small, like that.
Toyota Vitz,
small. One of those, the ones they use for Uber.
The potholes on that road are serious. This is community 22 to Akosombo Road.
Yeah.
Sound Nayo Road. Come. You see, two issues with you. The road between Tema and Akosombo is supposed to be a good road, but for some reason, I've been there for the past 2 weeks, and I don't enjoy the trip at all.
So that road is the first asphalt I ever saw in my life.
So what's happening?
It was constructed in the mid-90s under the Rawlings government by a company called Waste and Freitag. At the time, they told us it was going to last 20 years before it starts deteriorating. And indeed, around 2017, we started seeing those potholes started emerging. The specific part you talked about where the baboons are, that's between Doyumo, Shai Hills, Gigedokun. They have put a sign there to be fair to them, but it's almost like a very big hole in the middle of the road, and it's a problem. It just suddenly appears. So if you do not anticipate it, it becomes a problem.
Are they doing galamsey there?
Or are they doing rock mining?
No,
what's
that
happening there?
place, in fact, that area is called Doyumu. Do means valley, so it's a valley area. I think there should have been a bridge there, which bridge they probably have not constructed, and so it's like it becomes a sudden slope that your vehicle may just bounce in the big hole, and it's a problem. Now that road is from Tema to Akosombo. Like I said, I think they should start working on it, because even if you go further, there's a town called Kpong. After Kpong, there's a problem in the middle there around the headworks area.
Yes, very bad.
Yeah, that area has been a cursed area. I don't know why they can.
It's like there's some water underground, so there's always some problem.
I don't know what
road.
engineering it is, but that road was very smooth when it was done more than 20 years ago, and so that is it for that particular road. Now, when it comes to the rail line, or let me just, before we continue, the route, if you continue to Accra, the hot oven part you talked about, you have to branch left. There's a faster route where you turn right immediately after Afienya. It will take you through Apollonia, through Katamanso, through Kubekru, and then you either decide to join Apollonia, what was it? Oyibi, which is on the Dodowa Road, or you come and join at Amrahia and come to Accra, or you can even go through Nana Krom, join East Legon Hills.
Hold on.
And you're gone.
I'm coming from Akosombo.
You get to Afienya.
I've gotten to Afienya, and I don't want to enter traffic at.
You don't want to
Michelle
continue
Camp.
through Michelle Camp.
I turn right.
You turn
is
right.
that road a street? Is that tarred?
No, so that's the thing. That road, if it is fixed, it will
Could have
solve,
taken me
it will
to
solve half
the
of the
Greater Accra region without
so
going
you
through-
so you come through Katamanso, enter Nana Krom, and you are in Accra.
Okay.
Alternatively, if you are going to Aplau, if you're coming from Sogakope, Akosombo, you are going to
Go to
Aplau.
Aplau.
You don't need to go through Michelle Camp, go to Ashama and
Where do I
Temara.
turn?
You turn left at Afienya, go through Dowenya.
But that road is also very bad.
That is, I don't even want to call it a road. Now that's St. George's constituency. So to the right is Ningo Pram Pram, the same way. So you either turn right to Apollonia if you're going to Accra.
So actually, Afienya should have become.
Afienya is a major.
So that you have a main crossroad which takes you to.
So right will take you to Dodowa. If you were someone who was going to Dodowa, you go right straight to Dodowa, or you go left to Dowenya, or you go a bit forward and turn right before the hot oven place, and it will take you to Apollonia, and you are in Accra. That's one road that have to be fixed. So those two roads, if they fix them, they would have solved a lot of the access issues. Now the Michelle Camp side from Tema or from Ashama Roundabout, which is Tulaku to Afienya, should be dualized. That thing is non-negotiable. That road should be dualized because Bernard, Kakasunaka number 1, Kakasunaka number 2, the traffic at that place is because a new area is developed and houses are erupting from nowhere. And so there are so many people living in that area. So
Let's talk about the rail before I come back to the road. For those of us who don't know the area, describe the rail where it passes based on whether it is on the right side of the road or left side of the road. Okay. So when I leave Tema, is the rail on my right or my left?
Okay. So the rail leaves the Tema port area. That is where it is supposed to connect with the one from Accra. The idea behind this rail line is not passenger. Primarily, it was for cargo. This was the idea of the Mahama government when they started, and I interviewed people in the sector at the time, and even Joe Gate when he took over.
Yes.
The plan was that when we bring goods to our harbour or to our Tema port, instead of putting them on trailers and use a motorway and destroy the motorway and drive all the way to Kintampo and the north, let's put them on the train, take it to Akosombo, put it on a barge. The barge will take it upwards all the way to John Jinapo's constituency, Yapeku Souda area. And they go and offload them there. And then cargo trucks from Mali, Burkina will come and pick them and go. Now the train track, if you move out of Tema, it uses the Kpung area. So it's on the right side.
On the right
so it's
side.
on the right side of the motorway, the motorway runabout that they are doing. It's on the right side all the way to the
So on the
front.
right side of the road.
On the right side of the road.
As you go towards Akosombo.
Yes, as you go towards Akosombo. It's behind the Tulaku area. If you go all the way to Michelle Camp, it's still on your right.
So from Gulf City,
it's all on your right. So it's on your right, a bit distant from the main road. It keeps going until you go past your hot oven bread joint, and then it will cross the road to the left side. So they've done an overpass. So the road goes over the rail line.
So this is between Afienya and Shire Hills.
No, even before Afienya.
You sure?
No, it goes past Afienya.
So
sorry.
after Afienya,
so in fact, Afienya is still on the right side.
And
so
then before you get to Shire Hills, there's this new dual carriageway they've done.
No, it's just an overpass.
Yes.
On top
so
of
that overpass is dual.
Yes, they've done 2 lanes.
So that's where the train passes and crosses to the left side.
To the left side.
So it doesn't come back to the right again.
No, it doesn't. So this one, it comes back. I'll tell you where it comes back. Now at Afienya, they have a small tunnel, a very narrow one, like the one in the Volta region, where if you remember when the accident happened, the people said the thing was too narrow.
The tunnel where the truck was supposed to pass.
And that is one of the problems. So you've done tunnels where vehicles are supposed to go under the rail line. Now these tunnels are so narrow and so short.
Only a Kia truck can go under.
Yeah, even Kia trucks cannot. So it becomes a problem. Afienya people demonstrated so many times when the road was being done.
That the tunnel was too narrow.
The tunnel was too narrow. Nobody minded them. And these tunnels are replete. They are repeated all over. So you go to places like Doyumo, Gigedokum, Luom.
So this is what's supposed to make the cars from the community not go over the rail line.
Yes, they shouldn't go over the rail.
Meanwhile, the tunnel is too small.
The tunnel is too small. So that's the reason that the Kia truck had to go and use the road. That's the explanation the residents gave in the Volta region. So when it crosses after Afienya to the left, it goes through people's farms. I mean, it goes through the rural part of the district. It does not go. It's not like this is road, this is train. They don't move side by side. The train line goes a bit far off the main road. So it goes under the high tension poles that we have bringing power for us from Akosombo to Tema, the main power lines. It goes all the way through towns like Doyumu. Doyumu is on the left. It continues to Gigedokum. It continues through Kodiabe. And all these places, they do overpasses for either cars.
And these are mostly fruit farms.
Yes, so mango and all those crop farms. And then it continues Agomeda. It's between Agomeda and Gigedokum, it passes there. So it passes through the Agomeda forest. It goes through Lom. Continues to Akuse, between Akuse Junction or Akuse Junction and Somanya. It crosses that road. So if you're coming from
that Akuse Somanya road, if you want to use if you are coming from Akosombo, you can either use Kpong or you can use Akuse.
Good.
And Akuse takes you to Somanya.
Yeah, so you turn right.
So when you get to Akuse, the train passes on that road.
The train crosses that road.
Okay.
It continues. It leaves Akuse Junction on the right. It leaves Somanya on the left. So it's passing in the middle. It goes all the way, leaves Kpong on the right. And then goes through all these towns.
So it goes to Senchi.
Yes. After Kpong, when it gets to Senchi, where we used to do the ferry crossing, that is where it crosses the road back to the right side.
Oh, so it means it has swerved?
Yes.
So you are not part of the
so
story.
it's far from Australia, because if I wanted to hop on a train, I would have to drive from Australia Junction all the way to Gigedokum to come and board the train and where would you park your car? So when I interviewed the minister, I raised all these issues. I said, listen, the rail line is far from the main road and people live along the main road. So what are you going to do about that? He said, yeah, they would have to build access roads. So they have to be roads that will connect you to the main stoppage points so that you can park your car and then hop on the train.
So you can't use the train unless you leave your car.
Unless I call my brother to bring a motorbike to fetch me. I'm at the rail station, come and carry me home. That kind of thing. When he crosses the main road at Senchi, then it crosses the Volta River. So they did a bridge. So it comes
back to Senchi. It comes back on the right to Senchi.
Yes, so it crosses the Volta. So they've done a bridge for the train to pass
over the Volta.
Yes, so they've done a second bridge closer to the Adomi Bridge. If you're only on the Adomi Bridge, if you look good, you could see it crossing. So when it crosses, immediately it crosses and goes after the mountains around the Mami Water area where Bost has his tanks. It crosses again to the left. So it keeps crisscrossing. And in fact, one of the reasons I had a problem, it keeps crisscrossing the Juapon Road. So one moment you go beneath an overpass where it's going left, then another moment is going right. And it keeps crisscrossing.
That's why there's a lot of these overhead things on the Juapon
On the Juapon Road. So that is all the train passing over you. So this one, they didn't let the car pass over. They rather make the train pass over, which is fine. Now, there are a lot of them, and I don't know why. And the number of foot bridges,
on the Juapon Road,
not even from Tema, the number of overpasses they have, I am really wondering where the idea is coming from. The overpasses that have been done for junctions, I thought there are some points where they should do level crossing. They need in like rural areas like the Lom area, for instance. I thought they would just do level crossing.
So you think they did a lot of...
too many overpasses. And some of them are too narrow. Yes, so a lot of tunnels. Now, if you go beyond Juapon, it's even crazier. Before you get to Finte, it's just back and forth. Then it finally, before Asikuma Junction, it turns left.
Wow.
So
then it gets to that Impakadan area.
So then it goes to the other side of the river. So the idea is that it will terminate at the other side of the river. The earlier plan by the Mama government was that it will terminate at this side of the river. But this government said there's a difficulty docking at this side of the river.
So they change it to the other side.
So they take it to the other side. However, the problem is that they've not built there's supposed to be a landing beach of a sort at the other side where goods would be deposited for the batches to come and collect them. We don't have that. So right now, it is a rail line going nowhere. That is what we have. Yes, that's what it is.
As in the final docking station
is not there. So it is moving. You've seen it snake through the forest, the beautiful vegetation and all of that.
So this Impakadan thing, is it like a place where... Is it like a major place?
I've never been to Mpakadan, but it's under the Esojaman area. That's what I've been told. So it's between those two major towns of Enumboso, those areas. So the idea is that it's going to be just a landing base where you can come and dock, you can come and park the train, offload all the goods, put them on the back.
And these goods, where are they coming from?
From Tema Harbour.
But it's supposed to also take goods back to Tema.
Mostly taking goods to that place.
So, for example, if somebody plants yam in Jasikan or in the north, you expect that the yam will be ferried by.
If it's Jasikan, there's no point going to use that. So Jasikan, you better use the Eastern Corridor, and that's another problem.
Yeah,
you have
but
to
Eastern
look at.
Corridor,
Yeah.
you Eastern Corridor takes you through.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you are in Jasikan, you would
Or
just
you produce yam on any part of the OT region. How are you going to bring it to?
unless you put it on a trailer truck
And then you get to Mpakadan.
and come into Mpakada and put it on a train. If
That's
what you-
not what I'm talking
Uh-huh. But if you
Because
look
the
at
only possible food item that I see produced a lot
Is
from
yam.
the north, yam and maybe rice.
so Pasa, Otidamanko and those
So
places.
if you put that yam on that trailer to Mpakadan, then from Mpakadan, you put it on a train to Tema, and you possibly export it or you sell it.
But the idea is mostly to send cargo to the hinterlands from the port.
No, but that shouldn't be the idea. The idea is
Also,
also to.
evacuation from the north to the south.
Sandra, we should always think of exporting more than importing.
I'm-
So
I'm-
the idea should be for us to produce and
But you
sell.
see, we are not even the target of this import. Though. It's about Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. They
So-
are the landlocked countries that import through our.
By
port.
the way, from Mpakadan, does the rail continue?
No, so the rail ends there. It's supposed to end there. That's
Is
what
it
I'm-
supposed to go up to the
No,
north?
no, that's I'm saying that. So there are 3 rail lines that are supposed to be done. We have a western spine, the central spine, and the eastern spine. Right now, we don't have any spine.
So the eastern one ends at Mpakadan.
It's-
It doesn't go beyond Mpakadan
Ideally, it's supposed to be on the eastern corridor all the way to
to
the north.
Oti to Damanko
They
all
call
the
it-
way.
Yeah, they call it the eastern spine, but that one is
It
not.
ends at Mpakadan.
Yeah, it's supposed for as of now.
They are building
And the
it.
central spine starts from
The central spine is supposed to be
Accra.
the middle one. Yes.
that goes through Achimota
to
in
Kumasi.
Sawam. Kumasi. Does it work?
No, it ends. Oh, it ends at Achimota here.
Okay, then what about the western one?
The western one. The western one is supposed to start from Takrady, where the port is.
Yeah, and also take you
So
to
that one, to be fair, it goes in because it cuts bauxite, timber, and manganese and those
But when
things
we
to
called
the
it, we
port.
said it wasn't really.
The line is there, but I think there's no train on it.
So the eastern line
The
is
last
at
time,
Mpakadan.
in fact, the last time they tried to do a test run, they ran into a difficulty in the western spine.
Why don't you just call the Tanzanians come and help us to do it?
Bernard,
Or the
currently,
Chinese or something?
the only commercial train we have in Ghana, passenger train,
Yeah.
was imported into this country before I was born in 1987.
Serious?
That's the only train we have working.
The
It is-
blue one?
No, not the.
No, the one from Tema to Accra.
It's multicolored though. It's part
So
of it.
Tema to Accra is the only train that
Yes,
has-
yes. You know how
What
you.
is the Sawam one?
Oh, forget. There's no real track to Nsawam as we speak
What happened to it?
because thieves have stolen the metals on the because it's been abandoned for a while. When they started the Pokwase interchange project, they blocked the rail line, so no train can go to that part. So you can't go beyond Ofankor barrier. So no train has moved towards beyond Ofankor barrier in more than 2-3 years. Really? So the only train that moves carrying passengers, in fact, there was a train that Atamils brought, Ghana flag 1B.
That's the one from Tema to Accra.
That one broke down like a million years ago. So it's somewhere at, do you know, what's the name of the train station? Asoprochona. Do you know
It's there,
Asoprochona? Yeah, so
Asoprochona,
it's
yes.
parked at Asoprochona.
Sakumono to Tema.
It's parked there. So we have rather the old Conco of 87 locomotive moving from Accra Central to Tema. It does 2 trips.
And we've had a railway ministry from
2017.
2017.
Yes,
Okay,
2017.
as we speak, not one. No.
So that train moves from Tema
So
in the
it means
morning.
that if they don't launch this in Mpakadan thing, the ministry has failed. So the Mpakadan thing, it has to happen by all means.
So that's why they've decided that instead of starting the Mpakadan with cargo as
They
they,
have to
had
start with
planned,
passenger.
let's put passenger on it. So they went to Poland and procured 2 trains.
My God.
So the first one came. Let's go and travel.
And
Mama.
somebody went to.
I want to travel and go and test the thing and see whether it will work. Now the train goes to run into that track.
Sky.
Now the problem with that accident, Bernard, the experts tell us
Yeah.
that there's some sensor that is supposed to be on modern trains, which sensor will predict that there's an obstruction or obstacle
Ahead.
50 meters or 100 meters ahead. Start applying a brake. The
So
thing,
for the thing to go and collide into the thing,
so apparently they've not fixed that thing yet. The thing is at Tema.
and you're going to put human beings in it.
So the train is going to Mpakadan without the
Sensor.
one. Yeah, it's like traveling without your mate. So you cannot pick passengers. So the sensor could not detect that thing. By the time they would, so they only have CCTV camera on board. We can capture the accident for you, which is a beautiful scenery that the minister shared for us on his Facebook page.
But guys, you say
nice music under it.
Tanzania, Nigeria have done real. Is it that difficult? Is it? You know me, I'm sitting on air, so I don't know. Is it that wild that It's taken us almost 8 years and we still don't have a functioning train.
It's more than 8 years, man. It's like 8 years, and it's a problem. And Uganda has this train that goes through Mombasa because they use the Mombasa port. Yeah. So they have this nice train system that works. It's something we could learn from. Tanzania is doing a beautiful job, like you said. As for us, Bernard, it's a problem. Meanwhile, during Nkrumah's time, he had done provisions for rail lines to cross the motorway. Mm-hmm. I don't know what his plan at the time was, but that has never happened. When I was a child coming to Accra, I remember it was an overhead on top of the motorway. They later demolished it or something like that. While all of this is happening, Bernard, we have Ayalolo buses that we imported and used our taxpayers to buy. Mm-hmm. They are resting alongside the excavators that we seized in Adenta. Plenty. You know where the excavators are parked at Adenta? Is it highway? They call it Adenta Highway or Airways or something. Yeah. They are parked there. Those buses are there. They are not moving. Reason is that it's better for you to hop on an Okada or sit in a regular trotro than to sit in an Ayalolo bus. The reason is that Ayalolo buses were brought in with the intention that we give them dedicated lines. It is because of Ayalolo that we put up the overhead on the graphic road. We call it the BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. It was Chenche's time that they started putting up that project. The idea was that the buses will have dedicated lanes, no distraction. But you sit in an Ayalolo and you are in the same movement with the trotro. Even trotro people are even better because they can divert and pass through people's homes and lungulungus and they'll take you to town early. So those Ayalolo buses are rotting there as we speak. They are alongside the excavators that we went to seize. Aside that, I went to Abidjan and I moved from their commercial capital, which is Abidjan, to their administrative capital, Yamoussoukro. Mm-hmm. The distance is similar to Accra to Kumasi. Mm-hmm. They have a dual carriageway.
All through?
Bernard.
Côte d'Ivoire?
It was a beautiful thing.
All through?
Bernard, from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro, I went via dual transit. Two lanes going, 2 lanes coming.
Potholes?
Oh, no potholes. It was a smooth, beautiful. I mean, they were doing the thing to Yamoussoukro. You know, Februany's hometown, Yamoussoukro.
So you went from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro. How long did it take you?
I think it was like 2 hours. It was like 2 hours. But it's the same distance with Accra. Nathan, you can just check for me on Google Maps. The distance from Accra to Kumasi versus the distance from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro. It is very similar, but the hell we go through, if you're going from Accra to Kumasi, before you get to Sohom, you would have really stressed your life and you just give up on the whole trip.
So guys, is transportation that wild?
Another thing, in Côte d'Ivoire, water transport
exists.
So they have water in the capital city in Abidjan. Those who went to watch the football recently will tell you, I went earlier. I went in 2018 or 2017, thereabout. You can pay a few coins and you sit on a taxi, which is on the water. So they have boats all over. In their capital, there's a lot of water. So imagine the odor. Imagine if the odor was working and you are going to Achimota. Instead of going to take a car to Achimota, you just sit on a water taxi on the Odo, and it will take you to Achimota or beyond. I don't know where this river ends, but it's supposed to go all the way to the mountains. Wow. So that's the kind of thing that they have there. Sky has already mentioned the Sierra Leone thing. It is water taxi is one of the issues.
Sky, tell me about Tanzania. So you talk of Sierra Leone, you talk of Côte d'Ivoire, rail and water for Côte d'Ivoire. I'm told Tanzania to have some things they are doing which are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this story is published by the RT, which is a real technology website. So Tanzania launches first test run on Dar es Salaam to Dodoma line. And the story says that Tanzania has conducted the inaugural test run of a train on a standard gauge railway between major port city Dar es Salaam and its capital Dodoma. With Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa flagging off the train on its first journey. Now, part of the Tanzanian government's $10 billion SGR International Strategic Railway Program, the new railway is scheduled to begin services in July with the inaugural trip carrying a group of local religious leaders to trial passenger operations to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Tanzania. So look at the milestone, 60th anniversary. Now, Prime Minister Majaliwa said, quote and unquote, today is a historic day towards the culmination of 60 years of the union of the United Republic of Tanzania, the launch of the railway line from...
So they also have a railway line?
Exactly.
From
Yeah, so the ceremony launching the inaugural service also saw the government assure Tanzanians that 627-kilometer line, the line, would open by July 2024, with 65 of the 89 passenger carriages ordered for the services already delivered. Look at the numbers we're talking about. 627 kilometers. And we are talking about 65 of 89 passenger carriages.
Wow.
89.
Wow.
And we're told that they are investing in all about $10 billion to actually change the face of railway.
I'm even to Nigeria to train works. And by the way, Iskandar, we checked. So when you do Accra Kumasi is 250 kilometers. Abidjan to Yamoussoukro is 233 kilometers. So it's pretty much the same. Accra Kumasi will take you 4 hours 51 minutes by road.
That is Google assuming.
Yes, and then Abidjan to Yamoussoukro will give you 2 hours 45 minutes. So basically, you save 2 hours. So it takes us 2 hours longer to get to Kumasi than it takes you to get to the same distance in Cote d'Ivoire. Because ours is 2 hours 51 minutes. Sorry, 4 hours 51 minutes.
And just by the way, this is a Cote d'Ivoire. The Cote d'Ivoire we are talking about is the one that has gone through civil war. It's the same Cote d'Ivoire to our west.
Yes. Let's hear from the officials of Golden. Yes.
He's the MD for Golden Exotics. He tells our reporter that they spend 120 euros or 1 million Ghana cedis a year to make the road that leads to their plantation passable. He also mentions that when their partners in Europe, supermarkets, visit them and get to their farm, they tell them that if they knew this is the state of their road, they wouldn't have engaged them in the first place.
I mean, somebody
let's
can...
hear the voice. It's Charlie.
A small part of the country. Agriculture can be done everywhere across the country and really reach everybody. Everyone traditionally is a farmer, so you need to just improve on what they've got rather than inventing something new.
Over the years, we know it's been quite challenging with everything. What has been some of your major obstacles and what you intend to do?
So major obstacles, as I said earlier, is the productivity. When we came here, there was no one used to working industrial agriculture. There's no other plantations like this anywhere in this part of the country, and very few anywhere in Ghana of plantations or farms of this size. So workers were used to working the way they work, which was to do the job when they needed to, not to come every morning and repeatedly do the job every day. And so we had to teach that discipline and to show people what the standards were across the world, not in Ghana, because we don't produce for Ghana, we produce to global cost of production. So we have to compete at a global price. So in order to do that, we've developed our workers, we've done a lot of training, we work together with them and with the social partners to ensure that we get in the right direction.
How bad has the road been an issue for your company, and then what is your call to government?
My call to government is simple, is that I would say that anyone who's seen that road, and now I'm delighted that the Minister of Agriculture has seen it today, no one has seen that road would believe that a farm of this size, something employing 4,000 people, lies at the end of it. It's almost impassable. We have to use our vehicles. We spend 150,000 euros, that's almost 1 million cedis every year, to even make that road passable, and it's still awful. We have clients in Europe, major supermarkets, who come here and say if they'd have known that road was so bad, they would never have signed with us, because they cannot believe the quality that we produce would not be affected by that road. Now we manage the way we manage, and we get and our quality is some of the best in the world, but it comes at a cost, and that cost shouldn't come back to us.
power over this world is
So the big question is, did we go or did we come? I think that's the big question. Ben, it's taken us about 30 years to not complete the Accra-Kumasi Highway. The first time I saw a major construction on the Accra-Kumasi Highway was in 1995 as a young man growing up. Between 1995 and 2005, we've not been able to complete that road linking the two major cities of the country. What did we do? So his point is that your most, your busiest highway, you still haven't dualized it fully. And you've had 67 years of independence. Accra, Kumasi, which is the commonest. If anybody tells you that Accra is going somewhere, going to Kumasi, right? If anybody in Kumasi is coming, even that's not dualized. Cote d'Ivoire has dualized theirs from Yamoussoukro to Abidjan, and it takes them 2 hours 46 minutes. It takes us 4 hours 55 minutes to get to Kumasi on a good day. The thing is not working. The thing is not working. Tanzania has done rail very well. Water transport is in Sierra Leone. Nigeria even have now Kaduna to Abuja. They have a rail line that works.
You see, the VIP model where individuals own the buses, a number of them bring it together for someone to manage it for them. If we decide that we want to do something like that for water transport, would people be willing to be a part of it? Because Bernard,
water from where to where?
So, for instance, from Accra here to Winneba, that's a huge. There's a market
and the rocks.
Of course, I mean, they will have to do the naval people would have to do the feasibility. Yeah, that's right. They have to look into it. Yeah, that's right. And then also from there to the Tema side of town.
So from Tema to Accra, from Accra to Winneba.
Yeah, I mean that's
even Tema Pram.
Okay,
all the people who live at. In fact, we can.
Yeah, all the guys who live at
Saglemi housing.
Yeah.
You just cross the road, walk to the sea, and enter the boat.
And then you're in Accra.
It's quick and
trusted. Are you sure the water is safe?
Oh, the fishermen are always on it. They are using it. We bring the cargo to the port all the time. So
what vessel will we use?
They call them water taxis. There's a way they design them, and they are very
safe.
I saw it. It's just like the things we used to cross the water lake and all of those things. They are supposed to be. You just get a proper one
to take some traffic off the road.
Yeah. So what you need to do is do stops. When you build the stops along the beach, then everybody knows that if I want to go this way, I'll go to hop onto a water taxi.
So guys, why is it so hard?
This is our road. The one from Aflao to Elubo. Is part of the West African Trans Highway.
Yeah,
that road should be dualized from 19 whatever before.
From Aflao to Elubo should not
before
be
ECOWAS. As soon as ECOWAS was established, now that road should be. I have seen the one. I think the Togo one is nicer. The Togo one, if you are crossing from Lome, as in like Aflao border into Asigame. It's a dualized road.
It's a short part too.
Yes, it's short.
But Togo is a small country.
The whole Togo is like you can urinate along it, but they have done it.
I'm here.
I'm sorry.
But isn't it true?
I am sorry. Look, if
you can drive between by the time from Aflao to Ada, it's longer than Togo.
Let me tell you something.
You know that
if you get to Paga,
isn't it true?
Yeah.
No, in terms of the width.
Yes,
of it, but
Togo is not wide.
Yeah.
Togo you can cruise.
By the time you cross from Aflao to Ada, you finish the Togo road. The whole of Togo.
That's true. But if you cross at Paga and you enter Burkina Faso, you see the difference.
Even Burkina Faso?
Oh, man, it's sad.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe that's their only good road, but I used it. I went all the way to Ouagadougou. I just said for shege reasons, let me go to Ouagadougou.
And the road is better?
I sat in there, some rickety cabby, and then took us to Ouagadougou. It's a beautiful road.
Are you serious?
Nice, yes, to Ouagadougou, the national capital. This was 2018. I crossed and went. The road was smooth.
What is our problem?
So in fact, if you go through,
are you guys sure what you are saying?
If you cross through the Boku side, the Kulungugu side, it's a dusty road where Nkrumah was the bomb thing.
Yeah.
You see his statue standing there in the dust.
Yeah.
He's gathering dust, red earth dust. Now, when you cross and enter Burkina Faso at Kulungugu, decide to go and buy chichinga at a town called Bito. It's a smooth road. So it's a problem. This is Upper East. Now, when you talk about the golden exotics man that was there speaking,
Benedict Rich,
these people are providing employment for thousands of young men.
You know the area
in
very
the Shai
well.
Osudoku district.
You know the area very well.
Yes. The day we were going to Toko, I don't know if you remember, but you saw some buses.
No, the golden exotic bus that crossed the water.
It was not one bus, it was not two, it was plenty. And they were carrying people from areas like Aveyime, Kasunya, Topu, even
to go and work on the farms.
To come and work on the farms. To the area people call it banana farm. It's a huge plantation.
So all the guys in those areas go and work on those farms.
Yes, they go and work.
Bus.
Yes, the bus carries them to go and work. And when the trailers go to pack the goods, they use Asuchari Junction. Because that's
so they drive from Asuchari to that your
that,
horrible
that road. Yes, that's the road they use.
Oh, stop it!
I swear to God, that's the road they use.
This man.
That's the road they use, Bernard. And when you see their trailers on that road, it's so scary. And
Sky, there's something missing with our development. You know, this morning I didn't intend to do a negative show. I wanted to rejoice about the airport, but it looks like where the thing has reached.
So Shai Osudoku, I always say Shai and Osudoku are supposed to be two traditional areas. So you've called one Osudoku, one Shai. You put them together. You said you are a district,
and there's no connection.
The capital is Dodowa. There's no road that connects to.
They are shy of their development.
They are shy of.
Bus.
Meanwhile, Bernard,
Oh Lord,
we have one of our biggest military training schools on that stretch. The 64, it's no more 64, but when Rollins was there, it was called 64. That's Australia military training camp. And yet, this is a road. When I was growing up, they had vehicles called Abongo that they used. Usually, I'm not sure they worried about the road. But now, that road, if they say that we are calling them because of emergency situation, by the time they get to the main road,
the emergency has overtaken.
You remember when Papa Videms decided to block road? They were the ones who were supposed to be called to come and fix it. I don't know how much time it took them to come and clear the Papa people on the road. But this sounds like a joke, but it's a very serious matter. If we don't fix that road, and you've heard the man saying that his people are saying if they knew this was the kind of area, they would not do business with them. Now, it means that he's going to put that cost on the ordinary person who is, I don't know whether they are a free zones company or not. If they are, then maybe it wouldn't affect us that much, because the hope is that we are supposed to produce and export as part of the grand agenda. But otherwise, it's a horrible thing. And that whole enclave, the road is not good. The central spine is bad, the western spine, the eastern spine, everything is chaka.
So what is working? Time check 9:33. As I said, I didn't really intend to do a complaint show. I wanted to highlight the opportunities the airport opens up for transportation, but inevitably Kasua listeners started talking about their traffic situation, and then Sky was talking about the alternative to roads. We started talking about rail, and we realized that the rail transport is not really working, and we are back to square one. So we can only play Bobo. I think that's, one of my favorite videos. I was watching Sports Panorama, and then Coach Nimley was. I think that was a Man U game. Those times that Man U was trying to do well, so he came to the show to sit here.
I like that.
And then he was singing.
I like that.
He was dancing over two. But
Yeah.
He was talking about Bruno Fernandes and this. I think he said United was going to beat somebody. This is a video.
No, I think this was what?
He was dancing.
Yeah, some game.
United beat some team.
Yeah, I think they beat Chelsea or something.
So he came to sit on where you are sitting.
It was his favorite song. It was his favorite song after United.
He was doing some serious, those Ghana dancing songs. But Charlie, like the thing.
He resigned from the team.
Charlie, but on a more serious note, I want Arsenal to win the league.
Oh yeah, I'm also supporting.
I think they've been so good that if Man City wins the league,
it's not what. But you. So Man City they don't want to win the league.
But the thing has become sort of.
They are not. Man City is not a property. As in, nobody supports them. They just have money that they bought players. They don't have. It's not property.
You can say what you want. Man City to in their mind.
I can count the number of Man City fans in Ghana on my fingers.
OJ is one of them.
Over the weekend, Honorable Kojo Bajiman sent me a message. He said he and the Manchester City fans
how many are
they take offense to when they say that you can count City fans on one hand. He said it's not true.
How many are they? If I would dare them to organize a get together. I know
OJ.
They're like six. The whole country.
No, they are not.
The whole country, they are six. I dare them to organize a get together. I dare.
But they have a supporters group.
I dare them.
So what are you doing?
You hold them.
In fact, there are more Arsenal fans at Citi FM than there are Man City fans in the whole of Accra.
You host them on the rooftop.
I dare them to organize a get together. They don't know. They don't have anybody. They just have Arab money and Pep Guardiola. Nonsense.
It has won them what they.
Okay, 2 quick announcements, and I will go to the Rail Ministry for some hope, because it likes where the Rail interview is going. We are not in hope. So let's finish the announcement. I'll talk to Engineer Kwabena Bonsu.
Nice.
Who will give me some hope.
Solid. And I have some hope for you as well. If you are finding new ways of selling your house, your land, building materials and accessories, finishing your dream home, we bring you solutions from the graphic Greta Real Estate Experience at the Accra Mall from the 6th to 8th June 2024. So for participation and further inquiries, call 0242 202 447 or 0548 019 572. Limited space available.
All right.
And if you're dreaming of the perfect sofa to upgrade this year, your dream sofa is now a reality at Latex Foam. We are introducing our sensational V sofa range where comfort meets style at prices that will make your heart skip a beat. From the sleek L-shaped V sofa at 3,100 to the V sofa set for unbeatable 6,500. Elevate your living space with Latex Foam. Hurry, your perfect sofa awaits. Latex Foam is your partner for life.
All right, now let's celebrate everything Ghanaian by showing up in outfits made from genuine, authentic GTP fabrics. You can get those to buy at all GTP or accredited GTP dealers nationwide, the GTP retail store in Usu, or online shop.gtpfashion.com. Check the authenticity of any GTP fabric you purchase by matching the code on the edge of the fabric with the code on the label. GTP Lifestyle. If you're a young Ghanaian and you're seeking stable and fulfilling employment, the Ghana Growth Program is here. It will guide you towards career opportunities in agriculture, agribusiness, technical and vocational skills, and is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse. For more info, call 0308-255-775. Now, if you're a shareholder of GCB Bank and you want to get timely information, great notifications, and up-to-date reports on your shares and investments, then visit gcb.com.gh to provide all your details and update your records with the bank. Or you can visit any GCB Bank branch near you and get those details updated. Take a moment to go to that branch or visit the website to ensure that your records are up to date, because it is crucial that you stay informed about the performance and status of your shares. GCB is your bank for life.
Now, the Morningstar International High School wishes to announce that enrollment for the 2024-2025 academic year is in progress. Programs offered are the Cambridge Year 7, 8, and 9 Lower Secondary, IGCE, A-Level and WASI. So enrollment forms may be accessed from the school's website www.mostarschool.edu.gh or collected from the high school or basic school. Campus entrance examination is on Saturday the 25th of May 2024. The venues are the Morningstar School Cantonment, the Morningstar International High School, Dodowa. We are an award-winning school located at Dodowa and are locally and internationally accredited. Be a part of an enriching learning community where the tradition of excellence continues. Call us on 0243 758 795 or 0246 877 358 or 0303 975 628. Morningstar, arise and shine.
When I come back, I'll be speaking to an official of the Railway Ministry to explain some issues around the. Okay, let me go to him now. Okay, Engineer Kwabena Bonsu is a technical consultant to the Ministry of Railways to clarify some points. I think Umar Hassan made a few points around the route for the Mpakadan Rail and the size of the tunnels, I think they are called, and the towns they pass through, and then the many sort of crossings of the Japan Road, and then the ending of Mpakadan, and the unavailability of a proper landing site and all of that. Engineer Bonsu, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and good morning to your listeners.
Wonderful. So what do you want to clarify on the rail situation as far as the Accra and Mpakadan is concerned?
Okay. I think think it's the Teman Pakadan line.
Teman Pakadan, yes, Teman.
Yes, I wanted to clarify the alignment as put out by Maritanda. A railway is quite different from a road, and when you are designing for a railway, there are parameters, design parameters that you need to respect. So the places that you see that the railway is crisscrossing the road, it's actually the road that is crisscrossing the railway, because the railway, in layman's terms, is kind of straighter than what you see, because the horizontal and vertical alignment criteria that we use for designing is a bit different from what you use for in road design. So that's the first clarification. And also, I wanted to make the point that
on the first point, so you are saying that because the train is longer, the rail line is actually straighter than the road.
Yes.
So it's more the road that's crossing the rail, not the rail crossing the road.
Exactly. So when you start from Tema, ideally, if we had no obstacle for a rail line, you'd want to be able to go straight so that you'll be able to achieve the design speed that you would want on a rail line. The Tema and Pakistan line is a 120 kilometer per hour railway line. In other jurisdictions, you can go as far as 350 to 400 kilometers. Those are the ones they call the high-speed train. With a high-speed railway line, you would have the alignment almost like a straight line to be able to achieve those speeds. So for a railway line, it is straight, and so you see the road crossing the railway line and not the other way around.
Wonderful. Now the second, so okay, what was the sort of the logic behind the choice of towns? So for example, when you're moving from Tema, you will be on the right side of the road until you get to beyond Afienya, and then you cross the road using that word to the left, and then you go all the way to Akuse, and then you come back to Senchi, and then you do the right. Was it to avoid settlement? Was it because of the lack of a straight line? What were some of the thinking? What was the thinking around that? Because I'm asking this because quite a number of people live at a Suchari side, and if you look at the farms on the Suchari area, you would have thought that if the rail went there, it would have made life much easier. So just walk us through the considerations, whether it's just human settlement, it's just geography, what determines where you move?
Okay, thank you very much. I think all over the world, railways, in terms of passenger and freight is much more profitable than railway passenger. So most railways which uses mesh traffic, that is when you have a combination of freight and passenger, the priority is more on the freight than on the passenger, because you want to be able to move goods as fast as possible from point A to point B. And so when we're designing this alignment, yes, we took into consideration towns and settlements, but that would not be your priority, because with towns and settlement, the good thing about railways is that when you put in the infrastructure and you put in the right measures, you are able to grow settlements also along the railway line. We have programs that we call stations to cities. You'll be able to develop new settlements along the railway line. So the major priority is to be able to get a straight alignment, which will help you be able to achieve the turnaround times that you want on your railway line, to be able to move goods from the port to the hinterlands as quickly as possible. So that is the major consideration.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about Accra, Tema and Pakadan. Is the line ready? And if it is, when will the service start?
Okay, before we go on to that question, I also wanted to clarify the issue with the crossing on the line. This line was envisaged to be a line without level crossing, because when you have a line of 120 kilometers per hour and you introduce a lot of level crossing, what you do is that the places where there are level crossing, you restrict the speed. And so when you have a 100-kilometer line with the kind of level crossings that we have introduced, you will not be able to move at 120 kilometers per hour all through the journey. And so you increase the time that it takes from point 1 to point B. So as much as possible, we try to eliminate level crossings, but then we are also cognizant of the environment that we find ourselves. And there were so many places along the line that we had no option than to introduce level crossing. And even with that, with the attitude of our people, we still have places where you provide a crossing at an interval of less than 500 meters, and people still want to cross. These are issues that we are still dealing with, and we will try and eliminate that. But per the design standard for such a line, we try to eliminate level crossings as much as possible. And then to answer the question on the Temampakadan terminal point, what we are doing is initially, yes, just like Umaru indicated, the line was going to use the multimodal transport system. So we're going to use Akosombo, transfer onto the Volta Lake, and get to Bipe in the north. But I realized that the space where the current port is was very, very small and couldn't contain the kind of terminal that we wanted to put there. And then at some point within the Akosombo area, the line was going to be 50 meters to the dam. And with the kind of blasting that we did there, we did not want to compromise the integrity of the dam. So we changed the alignment. Currently at the Pakadan, what we have is a rail head that has the rail line and several sidings with space for the storage of containers. The next thing that we do on that section is to build a rampart where you have the jetty extending into the lake, so that when ships come to bed or boats come to, or barges come to bed, we'll be able to move. We also have bridge stackers as part of this project that we're able to lift the containers onto the barges. That is the plan. Also at Mpakadan, another good reason for going to Mpakadan is that by going to Mpakadan, we've moved to the eastern side of the country, which will be the continuation of the eastern expansion line, which we've christened the Ghana-Burkina line. So this Mpakadan, which is 97 kilometers, is actually the first part of the 1,000 and 1,200 kilometer Ghana-Burkina line. So it gives us the opportunity to extend to places like Jasikan, all the way to Yendi, to back to Tamale, to Bolga, and to Ouagadougou.
Okay. I was told that some of the I don't know what to call them, tunnels, but basically the road and the underpass, for want of a better word, are pretty narrow for some vehicles. Indeed, somebody even claims that one of the reasons why the train line was why this person parked their truck on the line was that he had tried to go under the tunnel and it was too small. Have you heard that complaint, and what are your comments around that?
Yes, these are things that we had to deal with during the construction. I do understand the sentiments of people that live around the area with respect to the height restrictions on these underpasses. Yes, I think the place where the accident happened, the height of the underpass is 3.5, which is quite shorter than what you'd expect from a normal height of 5.5. But then again, these are some of the challenges when you are designing a railway line. To be able to achieve the gradient of a railway line is 1 in 100, or in other words, 1%. So to be able to get the 1%, you sometimes have to move as much as 1 kilometer to be able to build up and get that 1%. For any change in a 1 meter height, you need to go as far as that distance. So in some places, yes, we did have a constraint in our ability to extend the height of all those underpasses. And that's why you have in some sections, just a few of them, some of them with heights of about 3.5 instead of the normal 5.5. And these are something that is not unique to our country alone. I think if your guys will bear me out, that there are some places that you go in the UK that even for underpass clearly demarcated that you cannot use a vehicle which is of a certain height under this underpass.
So these trucks that fetch sand and things cannot use these tunnels. It's not meant for them.
Yeah, but there are other ones closer that is about 500 meters away that they can use.
Okay.
So it's not all across board.
The other point is that for rail to work for passengers, there must be connecting alternative transportation types. So if I'm going to Asuchari town or Asuchari Junction area, and the rail drops me at the Akuse Somanya crossing, what's the plan? Are you going to initiate specific taxis or create a lorry station to allow for communities that are adjacent to the station to benefit? Because these are places, some of which are villages, right? So I'm just thinking, what's the plan to encourage passengers to see the Tama and Pakadan as not just for cargo, but also to do like a set of trotro service for the many towns between the two areas?
Thank you. I mean, the stations that we have as part of the contract, what we do is we will extend the access road from the stations to the nearest road, so that we'll be able to provide access from the road onto the station. What we'll do is, once we launch the service, we will encourage the local transport companies, the trotros, the metro masses, and all that, to be able to have a place at our terminal, so that we'll be able to convey people from the towns to the stations, and then they will join the trains to wherever they are going. We are also even thinking of linking the service from Tema to Accra and scheduling the time in such a way that somebody can move from home to Tema and then join the Tema Accra line and come to Accra Center, which we think we'll be able to use that to reduce the congestion and the mobility issues that people face along the stretch.
Thanks for your intervention. We hope to have a bigger conversation sometime soon. Engineer Kwabena Bonsu is a consultant, technical consultant at the Ministry of Railways, speaking to us about the rail line between Tema and Pakadan. So he confirms all the points you make and he clarifies some of them.